Welcome to the Middle School Cafe podcast, where we're serving up fresh strategies and solutions for ELA teachers just like you. Join us as we explore proven methods to bridge the achievement gap and help every student reach their full potential. Whether you're a veteran teacher or just starting out, grab a cup of coffee and a notepad and let's get started. Here's your host, Carolyn Wall.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Middle School Cafe podcast. I'm Carolyn. Thank you for being here today. Happy July. I hope everyone is doing well. Here in Oregon, we are finally getting some summer weather, which means more outdoor activities, barbecues, and swimming. I wish it meant more traveling, but this year we decided to stick close to home, and that's okay. We can't travel every year. Whether you've been traveling, relaxing, or just soaking up slow mornings with a good book, I hope you're taking the opportunity to rest and recharge. July also means for many of us thinking about back to school. The beginning of the school year brings a fresh start, new students, new routines, and so many opportunities to build your classroom community from day one. Today, I want to talk about something that I've often taken for granted, something that might not even be on your radar, especially if you teach 7th, 8th, or even high school, and that is genre review. It's something I started doing in the first few weeks of school because it sets the tone for library days and independent reading. Over the years, I've learned the importance of not assuming students know or understand genre, even though they've been exposed to it in lower grades. You might be wondering, do middle schoolers really need to review genre? Haven't they been doing that since elementary school? And the answer is yes. Middle schoolers need genre instruction just as much as younger students do, but for different reasons. Today, I'm breaking down why I believe reviewing genre is essential in middle school and how it helps students explore books, build confidence, and become lifelong readers. Let me pause and say this. Genre review is exactly that, a review. Once you get started, you'll likely see students quickly recalling what they've already learned in earlier grades. This isn't brand new material, but it is important. In fact, I'd argue it's because students already have some background knowledge that this review becomes such a confidence booster. They get to start the year with something familiar, and that's powerful. I think as secondary teachers, we sometimes fall into the trap of thinking, well, they should already know this. And yes, they probably have seen genre before. But we all know how much gets lost over the summer, or even how much deeper they're expected to go with texts now that they're older. Taking just 1 or 2 days to revisit genre at the beginning of the year helps reactivate that foundation so they can build on it as readers. Let's get into why genre review is so valuable at the start of the year. Each year, students are being asked to read more sophisticated literature, diving into informational texts, and sometimes bouncing between poetry, memoirs, editorials, and graphic novels all in 1 week. When we take time to review genre, we're giving students access to the tools they already have. We are activating their prior knowledge and helping them approach different texts with more intention. Genre provides a kind of structure, a mental framework that helps students predict what they're about to read, understand how it might be organized, and know what kind of thinking they need to do. Reviewing genre also helps students reconnect with the basic definitions. What makes something a mystery versus a memoir, for example? When students remember what each genre is really about, they can quickly make sense of what they're reading and shift into the kind of thinking they'll need. Are they looking for a central argument? Are they following a plot? Are they trying to visualize a real-world event? That connection between genre and cognitive approach is powerful and often overlooked. When students recognize the genre, they can better anticipate the kind of content and critical thinking a text will require. We all know middle schoolers are motivated when something feels interesting or personal. If they can't connect with it, it's harder to get them to engage. So I use genre review as a way to open the door to student choice. When students understand different genres, they're better equipped to explore books that genuinely interest them. It's not just about offering a shelf full of options, it's about helping students understand why they might choose one book over another. It helps them make better use of the library because they know what types of books they enjoy, and that makes it easier to navigate all the options. As odd as it may sound, genre gives students a sense of control. If they know they enjoy dystopian stories or memoirs, they start seeking those out because they know they'll enjoy them. That kind of self awareness is a huge step in building reading confidence. I remember one student, let's call her Maya, who started the year saying that she didn't like reading at all. But during our genre review, we were talking about historical fiction, and she suddenly lit up and said, "Wait, I remember a book I read in fifth grade about a bus boycott. I actually liked that book." That memory opened the door for a quick conversation, and we found her a nonfiction book about the real historical event behind the story she remembered. A week later, she was still reading it and asking if we had more books on the topic. That moment of connection, not just to genre, but to her own reading past, completely changed how she approached reading. It's moments like that that remind me why this work matters. Genre gives them categories to browse. They know what sections of the library to explore, and that exploration can open new doors for so many students. Even just one good reading experience early on can shift their mindset for the entire year. And the more they explore and have a successful reading experience, the more confident they become, not just in reading, but in expressing preferences, setting goals, and identifying what excites them about a story. Genre becomes more than a label, it's a way to help students make reading more personal and meaningful. One of my favorite parts of doing genre review is how it naturally sparks conversation. Students start sharing books that they've read in different genres. It gets them talking about books that they've already read and enjoyed. They start sharing titles that they loved in earlier grades or over the summer, and suddenly the room is buzzing with a book recommendation and memories. It gives students a way to connect with each other through shared reading experiences and helps build that trust and excitement around reading from day one. Middle schoolers want to talk, sometimes too much, right? So let's channel that into something positive. Genre discussions allow for those, "I didn't think I liked fantasy, but this one was awesome" moments that encourage students to talk about what they're reading with their peers. And when you have a classroom full of students recommending books to each other, that's when you know you're building a real reading culture. Those shared reading conversations become part of your classroom's foundation. Genre gives students the vocabulary and structure to connect their experiences, make recommendations, and participate in something bigger than just their individual reading lives. The middle school years are all about self discovery. Students are testing boundaries, learning what they like, and craving independence. Reviewing genre plays into that beautifully. When students begin to understand the types of stories that speak to them, they start to make more intentional choices. Some may still gravitate toward the shortest book, and that's okay. We'll meet them where they are. But when we review genres they've already encountered, we help them reconnect with what they've enjoyed in the past. That familiarity builds confidence. They begin choosing books not just based on length or ease, but because they remember liking similar stories, formats, or topics. That's when real change starts to happen. They're no longer just reading because they have to. They're reading because something about the story pulls them in. And that kind of connection, that's what helps transform reluctant readers into more confident, curious ones. When students feel like they own their reading lives, everything shifts. They feel empowered. They see themselves as readers. Before we wrap up, I want to share one of my favorite ways to kick off genre review in a fun and interactive way. It's called the Literary Genre Scavenger Hunt, and it's a back to school activity that gets students up, moving, and talking about books. I created it to review genre while building classroom community. And let's be honest, adding a little game element never hurts engagement. In this hands-on genre activity, students explore and identify a variety of literary genres through short reading passages and clue-based questions that lead them to uncover a mystery word and crack a four-digit code. From mystery and science fiction to fantasy and nonfiction, students will practice close reading while building excitement around reading. The best part? It's low prep and easy to implement whether you're reviewing genres in small groups or doing a full class activity. I like to use it before our first library day as a low stakes opportunity for students to participate, collaborate, and find early success. It's a great way to observe who's already confident talking about books and who might need a little more support. Plus, it opens the door for classroom conversations about reading preferences. If you're interested, you can find it in my store on Teachers Pay Teachers or check out the link in the show notes. Of course, the scavenger hunt is just one way to review genre. If you're looking for more interactive or movement based options, you could try a this or that genre walk. I post genre signs around the room: realistic fiction, mystery, fantasy, nonfiction, etc. Then I read short book summaries out loud. Students then walk to the genre they think best fits the description. It's a low stakes activity that gets students moving and opens the door for quick discussions about why they chose what they did. It also gives me a chance to share a wide variety of books in a short period of time, and maybe even spark interest in something new that they'd like to try. Another fun option I've seen done in other classrooms but haven't tried myself is genre skits. You assign each group a genre and they create a short skit that shows the style and elements of that genre without saying it out loud. Then the rest of the class guesses which genre it was, based on the performance. It's creative, often hilarious, and a great way to reinforce understanding of genre characteristics in a memorable and low stakes way. Whatever method you use, the goal is to get students interacting with genre, not just hearing definitions, but applying what they know in ways that are fun, engaging, and support a culture of reading. So hopefully I've convinced you that genre review isn't just a throwback to elementary school. It's a meaningful part of middle school reading instruction. It's a foundational tool for our middle schoolers who are navigating more complex texts, building awareness of their reading preferences, and learning how to talk about books in meaningful ways. Whether you use a hands-on activity like the scavenger hunt or keep things simple with anchor charts and notes, taking time to revisit genre gives your students a meaningful way to re-enter the reading world after a long summer, where many students did no reading. It creates shared language, builds community, and gives students that early win that can boost their confidence and buy-in for the rest of the year. If you're looking to build momentum, spark interest, and create a classroom full of confident, capable readers, start with genre. Thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd love it if you'd take a moment to share it with a fellow teacher. And hey, don't forget, it's still summer. Make sure you're soaking in those slower mornings, warm evenings, and well-deserved breaks. Keep enjoying your time off while you still can. Until next time. Thanks for joining me today. As a reminder, a new episode drops every first and third Tuesday, so be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. Be sure to visit middleschoolcafe.com to find links to everything mentioned in today's show. Until next time.